Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Olivia Gold. I'm a marketer, fashion and lifestyle content creator, and thank you for tuning in again. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that watched my last video. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry if you can hear noise. My fiance is watching football. It's realities of life and we're just heading out. But I wanted to do a YouTube video today just to talk to you, just picking up where I left off. Obviously, my last video was just talking to you about what has been happening with me in my career in the last 16 months. Feeling stuck, listening to myself, honouring that, leaving my job at TikTok, and then obviously stepping out into this weird new world, trying different jobs, taking 2 different jobs, and one not working out, and then the other one not working out for me, out of my control. I was made redundant. So I should actually do a video on that redundancy and what that's been like, but I think I'll do that in the next video. But I wanted to do a video on the future of marketing and what I've discovered lately as I've been in my discovery phase research, because as I mentioned, I've seen a shift. To know if any of you have also felt that, those who are working in the industry or those who are looking and probably a bit confused. I feel like there's a shift that's going on. Resurgence of social content is king, is amazing for, you know, marketers, because you're able to tell different stories, different ways, using platforms to tell those stories, which is great. So long ago, the kind of old school ways of radio out of home, they're still like relevant and can reach mass audiences, but now there's so many other platforms where you can tell stories, quantify it, and actually reach more targeted audiences and actually cultivate that and make them part of your community with the likes of social media, right? So that's been great, but what I've seen and what I've experienced is a couple of things where, you know, marketing roles where you kind of build campaigns, you tell stories, you sell products, you sell services, whether that's B2B or B2C. But now with social media, anyone's a marketer, to be quite honest with you, because they're able to tell their stories, they can tell someone else's story, they might have more insight, they might have better visuals, they might have better kind of character in terms of being like animated. Additionally, marketing was a way to communicate and tell stories. They highlight, you know, the needs and wants of something to a particular customer or a particular targeted group, which has been, you know, which we've seen with amazing campaigns with like fragrances or high fashion or just so many things. And that's one of the reasons why I got into marketing. I used to look through magazines and I would love like ad campaigns of like Louis Vuitton or like Dolce and Gabbana perfume, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a sick picture. And obviously it makes you want to buy the perfume, makes you want to try it, all of those things. Like, I'm a marketer's target customer and I'm a marketer at the same time. So interesting, because obviously as time has evolved, technology has evolved, so does how you now need to market to them. Everything is way more raw. I can go on TikTok right now, tell you I bought this top, how much I love it, and whoever follow me can go and buy it if they wish, you know? Another thing, I'm like mumbling, but bear with me, I'm gonna make my point. Social media became a thing and we had Instagram and Twitter. There was a few people who cultivated it in its growth stage, and they become, you know, the influencers of today, who actually now evolved and probably have or kind of top tier influencers now turned into celebrities. Ones that really grew their following organically and just jumped on the hype at the right time, because as we know, timing is everything. But now if you look at social media today and how the platforms are set up, it's really allowing anyone to be a marketer, to be an actual influencer and a content creator. If you think about Instagram, before you was only able to link a product to shop it if you had 10k followers or more. So again, which was actually cultivating more people to make more effort, put more content in, put more content out on the platform and actually garner their followers and surpass 10k and things like that. Where now you don't have to have 10k followers. And as you know, over time, the word influencer has evolved. There's influencers, but then there's also content creators, and they kind of mean 2 different things. An influencer is someone that actually has influence over your decisions and can make an impact if you should get product A or product B based on their recommendation, you trusting them. Whereas a content creator is someone that is creative and tells stories just as much as an influencer, but they don't garner the same level of impact but they actually create really great content. It's hard to say, that's how I define it. Content creators are used now for UGC content, where influencers are the faces, you know, maybe some partnerships, certain aesthetic, certain recommendation or kind of category that they like reside in, interest in. They have a lot of influence over that sort of industry, over that category. With that being said, I feel like that has now made businesses tweak and change their business model. If you're seeing how so many businesses have gone out of business, obviously COVID didn't help that fast-tracked a lot of businesses. However, we saw how digital took over and people were at home things, shopping things, and things just took a big change. From a business perspective, where they used to probably invest like 6 figures, 7 figures into out-of-home media, they're now investing in social. So to do that from an internal perspective, from a business case, you have to make sure you have the right skilled people to do that. In a marketing manager, it's still key, so it doesn't take away anything from that. There are other roles that now evolve around that. So you've got social, you've got digital, you've got paid media, you've got all of these different attributes which kind of penetrate into the marketing system to actually reach your customer. Because obviously digital is growing and e-commerce is growing and is changing, or even how other industries, you know, pick up clients, they're gonna need to use social media. If you're B2B, you're trying to pick up other businesses as clients, you need to be on social media just as much as you need to be in the grounds, on those conferences, networking events, and all of that good stuff. So the demand is shifting across the whole economy because digital is advancing so quick. And with that being said, I feel like it's changed the roles that is out there in the market. So after jobs is in paid media. So if you're on PPC, if you are in SEO, and AI within the marketing sphere, like marketing analytics, those are the most sought after jobs, which is great. They have a great pay package and it's across different industries. Whereas someone like myself, who it's weird to say I'm a generalist because I pride myself to be really a strategist when it comes to marketing. But in the world, if you go on LinkedIn and I'm looking for a job, that's basically what you would type in. So those roles are still needed because they connect the dots to all these different areas that I'm talking about. Businesses trying to pull back on costs. The lighting's really weird. I might just move it a bit so you guys can see me. The light's like coming in from my living room. But anyway, because businesses are trying to cut costs, what I've seen is they will let go of the generalist and actually employ, you know, specialists to do those jobs which they cannot do, which makes a lot of sense. Like, why would you hire a general marketing manager to look after a campaign when you can split that money out and just hire, let's say, email, social, digital, for the sake of conversation. There's no one there to join the dots, create the synergy and make sure it's consistent, all of that. What I'm saying is a specialist role is actually more desired because you hire someone that can do the job that you cannot. Whereas if you're a head of and then you hire a marketing manager, you have to pull back costs. It's easier to get rid of the general marketing manager because you will just take on their load, but also cascade half of it to the rest of the team in those specific specialist areas. And I was doing some research and show you what I know, kind of back this up and the changes that's actually happened. So basically, of marketing is going to change and be reshaped. I can't concretely say this is exactly what's going to happen, but what I'm aware of and what I want to share with you guys to also be aware of is where the industry is looking into. So if you are in an area and maybe you're looking to tailor or shift or specialize, consider these things because that's what I'm doing right now as we speak. I take this on board regardless of what I choose to do next, and I want to share that with you guys. So one of the key kind of specialist areas that marketing is going to advance is personalization. So I'm just going to read clear terminology to make sure I kind of communicate this in the right way. So basically, with the increasing availability of data and advancement in technology, you know, marketers will have more opportunities to actually personalize their marketing efforts. So I'm going to use fashion as an example because that's the industry that I've got the most experience in, and it's an easier way for me to relay this. So basically, if you go on a website and you're shopping and you pick up a nice pair of jeans, what personalization and this AI advancement website will be optimized to understand who I am as a customer and what I like to buy. So if I like to buy a pair of jeans, they would actually then recommend style with, and it would be a certain top, a certain shoe, all of that. That is personalization, making the shopping experience personal to me and my liking and my taste. And from an e-com perspective, that's super key, because now we've got so many different platforms and everyone's tapping into different cultures and subcultures and being influenced so heavily. Businesses are finding it harder to understand their target market, but with AI and data and actually using that data to do so, they're going to have a better idea and personalize the customer experience. So if I'm on a certain website and they know exactly what I like, I'm going to shop there versus going somewhere else. So again, that just really highlights what the possibilities are, and it's a really interesting insight, because obviously, and this involves AI and machine learning, it's going to play like a crucial role in customer data and delivering tailored experiences. Like I said, it's going to allow businesses to target individuals, give them the relevant content. You know, content is king, but obviously content is going to be tailored, and that's where the future is. You're not just going to get fed all sorts of content whether you discover and shop. It's going to be personalized to you. And how easy and convenient is that for, you know, a customer? You'll rather spend your money where you know you're going to get what you want, it's aligned with your needs and your wants. That's where you're going to spend your money. So again, that's where the future of market is going from, like a content piece. I wanted to highlight that. Next thing I wanted to talk about, you've probably heard, is artificial intelligence, like AI. Much of it, even myself, is overwhelming. Don't know where to start, don't know where to finish, but I am just, you know, coming across things and I'm taking them in. In terms of that is AI powered tools and automation will continue to transform marketing processes. So chatbots, virtual chats, voice activated devices are going to become more sophisticated. So I'm just going to assume here, blue sky thinking, I'm going to go on a website and be like, I really need some red shoes, and then they'll be able to grab and maybe come up with a page of red shoes, or maybe not on the actual website, maybe this could be Google shopping, and if I say red shoes, they could probably be able to scrap different links. I'm just assuming here, but who knows, because AI, it sounds like it's going to be smarter than us, and that's a scary thing. But anyway, I'm just here to deliver the information. AI will also streamline data analysis, so enabling marketers to gain insights quickly and optimize their campaigns accordingly, which is great, because sometimes in marketing you can do different activities. Sometimes you can quantify, sometimes you can't, but I think AI is going to help us to quantify all our activities so you can justify your marketing spend. Is great, because I know sometimes it's always been a grey area in marketing. They love you when it's working for sales, but then they hate you when it's not. But obviously with AI, it will enable marketers able to quantify and have data to back up everything. So when you ask for that money for that campaign, hopefully you will get it. The next thing is voice search and smart speakers. So this is something that I went to a couple conferences last year when it came up, but I haven't seen it actualized in real life. I know in certain companies they are testing it in certain markets. It's going to be interesting when it lands across services that I use, and I can give an example of, but right now I can't, but I will deliver the update and insights from what I have been researching. What they're saying is there's going to be voice activated devices like smart speakers. Okay, so it's not something that we haven't, it's like Google Chrome. I want to see how it's going to inform in terms of like customer experience and you know, like spending. So this means creating content that is conversational and easily discoverable through voice queries, as well as leveraging voice activated advertising opportunities. To be quite honest, I was having this conversation the other day. It's even like if you're talking about, oh, I really want to go on holiday to like Jamaica, or I really want to go Asia. Next thing you know, you go on your Instagram and you start seeing like holiday packages. I wouldn't be surprised it's this, just but more advanced and across different like technologies and stuff like that. So probably it's going to be that, just much more louder for us. So I wonder how that's going to adapt from a marketing perspective. It's probably going to be, and voice search is going to be integrated into actual full campaigns. Something to look out for. So the next one is quite interesting, and I had a really cool conversation with a friend of mine in the industry about this. So influencer marketing. So there's been a whole kind of piece on de-influencing, influencer marketing. It's changing. My personal opinion, it's just going to evolve, and it's just going to evolve in like a different way. But what it says here is influencer marketing will continue to be a significant component of marketing strategies. The focus may shift towards micro influencers who have smaller but highly engaged audiences. Brands may also employ AI tools to identify and collaborate with influencers effectively. So I don't think this point is anything new. Influencers is going to be key, but it's going to evolve into not micro influencers, but it's just going to be UGC content creators. Because if you think, for brands to churn out newsletters, to do a lot of content, that takes up a lot of their time, and that's a lot of resource. So what's going to be actually more cost effective for them is actually to pay micro influencers to create the content that they need, pay them a fee, and include that in their newsletters, their social, their website, all of that, because that takes away time out of their schedule to do their kind of mood boards, do photography, all of that, which is obviously more candid. But if you get UGC content creators to do it in their home, it actually broadens your customer market because of the different types of influencers that you can include with, within this. So I feel like influencer marketing is going to continue to evolve, but I feel like UGC is going to be big, and it's going to be part of marketing budgets, because that's the only way you can actually consistently churn out content but make it in the most authentic way. How many times can you get a model to shoot a piece of content to talk about or to get a specific paid influencer if they're not actually a clear brand partner and ambassador of the brand? It's better to actually get a range of influencers that can create different styles, actually then reflect that for the brand. So that's my take on how I feel like influencer marketing is going to evolve. Next couple points, there is a lot, but I'm just going to keep it to the ones that I feel like are super key for where we are right now. Augmented reality. I'm not really going to take too much on this because I feel like the metaverse and all those big companies are trialing it. I want to see how it's really going to impact the general customer every day. Are we going to go into Zara, pick up glasses, see the collection and then pick it? I don't know, like, we'll see. I want to see how it's going to be integrated to the actual general customer experience of the everyday customer in Sainsbury's, in Zara, when you go shopping for food, when you just do general everyday. But what it's saying is brands can leverage AR, VR to provide immersive product experiences, to obviously create interactive storytelling. I feel like this is really inexpensive. So it's going to be interesting, the sorts of businesses that takes it on. I don't think everyone's going to do this, but I think certain brands and certain industries will, because they have budget to do so. Sustainability and ethical marketing. So obviously consumers are way more interested about conscious sustainability, ethical practices, all across FMCG market, to be quite honest. Brands that can authentically align themselves with values that effectively communicate their sustainability efforts. I think we've seen that in the fashion industry. I think food's going to be another big one. And I don't know, buying toothpaste, like how sustainable is the product, what's the ingredients, all of that good stuff. So I think that's evolving over time. Consumers everywhere across the world are just becoming more open with their ethics and are questioning everything, which I think is just good for human race. Social media evolution, I think, underpins everything personally, because that's where content is living, on social media channels. People go on social media first, then land on the website to make their purchase decision. So they made a point here about social media evolution, but there's just going to be new formats. So we just need to stay ahead of the curve. And I think specifically as marketers, we need to know about everything. New social media platform called Lemon8, and that is founded by the company that created TikTok. So they dance. Just being aware of, okay, there's a new platform, what's happening on this platform, how can brands use this, how can you use the platform, so you're just aware. Be real. I know that's a social media platform, people are using that. So as a marketer, just be aware of how are people using it, all of that good stuff. What I want to talk about is data-driven decision making. So I think this is more strategic thinking in terms of the future of marketing. So are going to increasingly rely on data, and I said that earlier in one of the points. So it's going to inform their decision. Talk about specialist roles. In specialist roles, email marketing, you use the CRM data to inform the decisions. You really see who clicks through, who makes the purchase. That is all data. SEO, all of that optimization is data. PPC, all of that is data based on the spend. So these are really specialist roles, and I think these are why it's high in demand, because they have data to back all their decisions. Where if you're a generalist marketer, and let's say you come up with a campaign to talk about fashion as a reference, because that's my go-to. If you let's talk about summer dresses, why? How can you actually back that up? Of course we know it's sunny, but how is that really influencing people's decisions this summer to wear dresses, what's happening. Of course, generally people go on holiday, but that's not really going to elevate as a marketer to make sure you bring more sales for the business. You're going to have a bit more insight, a bit more data. Again, you can do customer behavior analysis, you can do primary, secondary research, and that's a lot of money. But then there's also agencies that can do that. So how are you showcasing your value? Of course, you are creative and your thinking comes from somewhere. It's about how can you really optimize your knowledge and use data to help you. And I think we're in that shift where data is king just as much as content is king. So the roles that were backed and data helps you make those decisions are the ones high in demand. And I feel like that's why companies have been making a lot of redundancies. They always go to marketing first and they always take the generalists out, whereas they kind of leave the specialists, because obviously their roles are so key because no one else can do it, and it's a lot more money to pay someone else and train someone else when you've already got someone there. So that's definitely what I've seen. And even when I'm looking at roles and kind of future proofing what your career looks like for the next 10 years, of course we're in a day and age where you can't really predict that much. The economy is going crazy. I do want to share is just those points just to make you think about what the future of marketing is and what that looks like. I'm going to do a piece on lifeofamarketinggirl.com. I haven't written an article in ages, but I think this is something to talk about because I think everyone's a bit confused. There's so much exciting stuff happening, but no one's really talking about the impact that it's going to make on the specialists in the career, but also the output. And it's making people feel a bit unstable. I can say for myself, I've even felt unstable because there is a big shift happening. You want to grow and get more senior. What does that look like? There was an article the other day where I saw they're saying CMOs are becoming the company CEOs, which is a good thing because I think CMOs are really integral. But again, it's just showing you how the industry's shifting. The question, if data and technology is so important, I wouldn't be surprised if CTOs become the next CEOs, because if everything's going to be driven by data and the CTOs are the specialists within that area and build the infrastructure for technology, they would actually be the next CEO. So I feel like it opens up a can of worms of different conversations, and I've been having those with, you know, my peers in the industry and just articles that I read to share these kind of key points in terms of what I see the future marketing, and hopefully that helps you guys to make an informed decision about your next job, or if you wanted to go into a specific area within marketing, what you should be considering and looking at. And lastly, we'll say is don't be afraid of data, don't be afraid of numbers. I feel like marketing sounds cool, it's so creative, but I feel like you really have to get into that analysis piece so you can really start to piece the puzzles together, so you can really showcase your value wherever you go. So that helps. Actually gonna head out as I always do, but thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe, leave any comments. I'll do a Q&A soon so you guys can get to know me better, but I really hope this video has been helpful to you. And the lighting has been weird, but hopefully it should be okay when I'm editing. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.